Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for the honour and the opportunity to say a few words and to maybe educate a few of you out there. I acknowledge that this land that we meet today belongs to for thousands of years, belongs to the Aboriginal land. It always was and it always will be. My name is Ramila, and I am an Uyghur activist. As an Uyghur activist who has been fighting against the genocide of my people and my homeland by the Chinese Communist regime, we Uyghurs stand in solidarity with our Indigenous and Palestinian and every other oppressed person around the world. It begs belief that we are still witnessing, protesting and demanding humanity at this age, at this day and age, after 3 months of atrocities, of bombardments, of children, of women, of men being blown up to smithereens. Shame on the international community, shame on our government not taking tangible actions to stop these atrocities. As an Uyghur, I stand here to share the story of East Turkestan, what China has called Xinjiang, which literally translated means new frontier, meaning that the Turkic nation never belonged and will never belong to the Chinese Communist regime. China took over East Turkestan in 1949, 1 year after Palestine was occupied. And since then, we have faced slow, deadly, silent genocide, and our numbers are dwindling in East Turkestan. One reason that you may not have heard of the silent genocide China is carrying out against the Uyghur people is that China commits its atrocities hidden from the rest of the world behind high-tech Iron Curtain, which ensures that the ethically cleansing and eradicating my culture and my people is done with impunity. To hide their actions, the Chinese Communist regime smear my character and every other Uyghur activist's character in the global platform. They spend millions of dollars to ensure that they hire influencers, national and international, to debunk the genocide of the Uyghurs. Do not deny my existence and my country and my homeland. By speaking out here today, I'm putting myself and my friends and family at risk. Uyghur activists face transnational harassment from China. Our community members continue to receive calls from their family members to stop this activism, to stop talking about genocide, otherwise their lives are at risk. But we will not stop. We will continue until these atrocities stop and my land of East Turkestan also becomes free, just like Palestine. China's total control of their internet, freedom of speech, means you do not see the hundreds of concentration camps where millions of Uyghurs are rounded up. You do not hear of the genocidal rape of women. You do not see the mass Uyghurs trafficked into slavery or of their organs being harvested. You do not see the millions of Uyghurs as young as 15 and as old as 79 being sentenced on long-term sentences on long sentences on trumped-up charges. You do not see the destructions of century-old sacred and historical monuments. You do not see the destruction of historical Silk Route cities. You do not see our scholars, our academics, our historians, our writers, artists disappear for decades by the Chinese Communist regime. But we are here to tell you this does happen. This is ongoing. It has been happening since 1949, and I am here to tell you the story. In the 21st century, we, all all of us should not be witnessing or seeing any of this happening to any one of us in the world, and yet here we are still talking about it. Every Australian that's across Australia and also in the diaspora have family members, wives, husbands, friends who have disappeared on charges trivial as growing a beard, speaking their own language, practicing their religion, having a non-approved app on their phone, or having travelled overseas. What makes it frustrating at the moment is that the Chinese government pretends to support Palestine at the UN and publicly. At the same time, China would round up an Uyghur Turkic person and throw them in jail for visiting Palestine in the first instance. Just like Palestinians, every Uyghur has every facet of their lives controlled by their occupier. Uyghurs must register with the Chinese government and have approval to buy a house, to have more than 2 children, and even travelling to another state requires permission from the local police. We are prisoners in our own country, which China has turned into what human rights organisations call a dystopian hellscape. In the same way that Israel horrifically battle tests its weapons, China has perfected its racist civilian surveillance state on the Uyghurs. The Chinese government-controlled facial recognition surveillance company, Hikvision, whose cameras have been found to be part of Israel's apartheid system, are the same ones that China has used and perfected on the Uyghurs before they sold it to the Israeli government. While China seems to support Palestine, it has enabled Israel's apartheid for decades. It has been a major buyer of its weapons and seller of its major technologies to the apartheid state. For your information, look around as you walk around the city, as you visit other states in Australia, the Hikvision cameras can still be found in Australian public places. We need to demand that the Australian government takes this down. As Australians, we are all ashamed of the genocide and stolen generation of our Indigenous brothers and sisters. We must therefore be outraged. China has stolen up to 1 million Uyghur children and 1 million Tibetan children and placed them in colonial boarding homes. Children as young as 4 years old, brainwashed to forget their roots and their identity and to be raised as their occupier. Israel's colonial aims are to remove the indigenous Palestinian people from their homeland. Likewise, China's stated colonial aim is to break our roots, deny our existence, and force Uyghurs to be Chinese. Another connection, Zara, the clothes company, recently glamorized horrors against Palestinians in a vile marketing campaign. I want to bring to your attention that Zara and over 80 international brands have been implicated in using Uyghur slave labor. Nearly a quarter of the world's cotton is from East Turkestan. The clothes that you are wearing now are more than likely to be tainted by the slave labor of my people. We are all for green energy. As I was arriving into Melbourne at Tullamarine Airport this morning, I saw hundreds of solar panels. Hundreds of solar panels where you know that nearly 40% of the components that produce the solar panels come from East Turkestan, where slave labor is rampant. I urge you to please do your research. talk to Uyghurs and know the products that imported from China are highly likely to come at the cost of Uyghurs' freedom and lives. When our leaders do not value every one of us as equals, but sides with the oppressors, it is up to us citizens to say, not in our name. We must continue protesting and demanding change to the system that we are ruled by. Every human being deserves a life free of fear, to live with dignity and self-determination. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free,